Good morning, my darlings. So I am psyching myself up, as I always do before a video, to bring myself to everything. So I've been preparing over the weekend, and now I have this Monday morning because I am working every day, and I don't normally do a video for you guys when I'm working because I need all my focus on my client and the rest of the day just running my home, my life, my dogs. And I pace myself, I give myself space, and I pace so that I can always keep my nervous system and my focus and give 100% to my clients, to my home, to my health, to my animals, and just running the whole show. So I am ready to go. I always get butterflies in my tummy when I'm preparing to bring you lots of information. But this is just where I was last time. So this was my last newsletter and the last video I did here. And so the posts and that was going over from the end of January, and I was looking forward to the new moon on the 9th of February. So we've had that, and then we had and then I add the lunar eclipse always and the solar eclipse, because everything is about the countdown to this lunar and solar eclipse in the axis of Pisces and Virgo. The solar will be in Pisces, and the new moon that we have coming up on the 10th of March is in Aquarius. So that energy of the coming new moon we will be under a new moon in Aquarius for the eclipses, for the lunar in Virgo and the solar in Pisces. But we're going to get to that. We have a lot to cover. So in this last, I was talking about very much this, this again, what we're going to be going into today. It's all about this solar lunar, because we have the full moon coming up on the 25th, on the 24th for people in the southern hemisphere is in Leo. The sun rules Leo. The moon rules Capricorn, and we have all the planets, rules Cancer, and we have all the planets in Capricorn and Aquarius. So this is really Revelation 21 to 24. The Olympics is the closing. This is really about the anima, the animus. We have Mars and Venus conjunct to Pluto. That is the merging for every man. His hidden feminine is Venus and the moon, his anima, and for every woman, her hidden masculine animus, Sun, Mars. This is what we're going to be looking at. So that was very much focused on the moon last time. So look, this is what we've got. We've got the Nimrod energy, which is what I'm going to be talking to you about. We've got with this eclipse crossing through, but starting from the bottom southwest and heading up to the northeast. And as Lavette said in her last video, it's crossing eight cities of the Nineveh, which is all about the Jonah and his Nimrod, and he was the creator. And this is all the fertility, Lupercalia fertility festival that we just had, the 13th, 14th, 15th last year. I was in the floods in New Zealand. And this year in Paris on the 13th of February, they rose the cock-a-doodle-doo, the cock, the phoenix, onto Notre Dame, and Notre Dame will be officially opened on the 8th of April, which is the Virgin Mary's birthday, La Marianne, the day the Queen died. And we have got Mercury going to be conjunct to Neptune coming up for this full moon. So that beginning of the drowning of Jonah being swallowed by the whale, and you know, he has to be the messenger that people have 40 days to repent. So all this is what we're going to be looking at. This is a great site, Eclipse Witness, Evidence of Supernatural Authorship of the Solar Eclipse Phenomenon. So we really have the Aleph Tav. So from this we had last year, and this is going to be the closing, and this is what I put my newsletter. I am the Alpha and the Omega, and there you have. This is, we have Uranus and Jupiter conjunction coming up between Taurus and Aries at the same time as we have this great eclipse. And there is Api, the bull god, Taurus, and the hippopotamus goddess of childbirth. So it's, you know, about the fertility. So this site, yeah, come and see this, because it goes very deeply into what we have lived. A great find, this. So they show you so much incredible information that I'm not even going to try and attempt to get into it all, because it will just take me down so many different paths. But it is the American judgment. So here we go, the Aleph Tav. I am the Aleph and the Tav. So in that film Paris, Texas, that I've been covering for years, he's called Travis. It's a play on the Tav, Travis. So we've got the Aleph and the Tav, and we're right there. During the and so of course we've got the elections. That was in 2020 at the midpoint of the US, and we've got the Trump being risen now. So Trump is that Christian solar orange, the extreme Puritan Christian, and we've got, you know, the rise of the chaos that will be brought in, and the Islamic energy, lunar, which will bring us to that midpoint orthodox, which is what the Little House on the Prairie was all about. The Amish, which is Ham, tribe of Ham, Buckingham Palace, the Ham, the Amish. I am the first and the last. I am the Aries, and Saturn, Pluto will be in the home of Saturn, Capricorn, for 40 years. That orthodox energy coming in. But first there has to be extreme far right energy to pull back that cannonball, to create the chaos that will bring the new middle ground in. And that's where we come to that Noahide law and all the Ronald Reagan. So that is a very good site. The elections, so the elections are going to be in 2024. I don't think we're going to open the chart for there. We've got too many charts to look at. So let's go. So take a look at this lineup. we have got Pluto. So the last time we spoke, I was focused on Mercury, Mars and Venus as each came and kissed Pluto. We had the news of Prince Charles's Cancer when Mercury and Pluto were conjunct. And then we'll have a look when we go through my posts as what was going on exactly when Mars, but Venus has only just entered. Venus was on the 16th. On the 16th today, we are the 19th. So on the 16th for the quarter moon, we had the moon. Then, yeah, we had the moon in Taurus. So that was the end of the Lupercalia festival. And on the 16th, the Lupercalia festival was the 13th, 14th, 15th. And the moon was in Taurus, and then it went on to Aldebaran. So Venus, Mars, conjunct to Pluto in Capricorn, that male and the female, war and peace, meeting Pluto for the first time in Capricorn since 250 years. So Mars entered Capricorn. That was a big day. That was a big day. All the elite, everybody knows how important this is. They've been waiting for this date for so long. Mars entered Capricorn for the beginning of the Lupercalia festival, for the 13th, for the rise of the Phoenix on the top of Notre Dame. There we go, altar, on the altar. Right, so at that moment we just had Mars and Venus still in Sagittarius. That is what is so important to the city of Nimrod, the giants. This is the age of Asia. This is the secret order of the dragon, of holding that chai, of holding your prana, your energy, the sexual energy that comes from the red pill, blue pill. That's what we had before the war. We had the whole Russell Brand going on in France. We just had this Frenchman who died, who abolished the peine de mort, Pennsylvania, the death sentence is called the peine de mort in French, and that is the name of the far right party, Marine Le Pen, and her daughter Marianne Le Pen. So this Mars and Venus is that red, blue, the shift of the torso feel of the electromagnetic. It is the anima, and at the same time we're about to have this full moon in Leo, in the sun god, in the fire. So we're going to have the moon in Leo, and we will have Jupiter and Uranus still in Aries. So Jupiter, the ruler of where the moon. So that was that day we had the moon conjunct to Neptune. And for this full moon coming up, we're going to have little Mercury here, the story of Jonah drowning in the whale, the messenger on the tail, being sent as the messenger. So we have all the planets up now, moving into Capricorn. So on for the opening of Lupercalia, Mars entered. So that was the day of the floods last year. There were big floods in other parts of the world. We had fires and floods. FF 66. Route 66. It's always the yin and the yang, the 66, because it's 69, 96. The Queen died at 96. She was taken down from the BAAL morale, from Scotland back down south, back to the sun and the moon. And the sun and the moon merge, and the Mars and Venus, you have got your anima and your animus. You can no longer hide behind a fake persona. You have found your shadow energies. You've found the perverted energies, and you can use your chai, you can raise that snake, and you can come to crown yourself, to get your connection from Saturn to Uranus, the conscious mind, and to Pluto, the subconscious, and to use your illusion, your delusions of Neptune in the right, correct way. So Neptune is now here for 15 years in the abyss. So, you know, this is not easy for everybody to deal with these energies. I'm going to go and have a look on the chart in a second. So 13th, 14th, the sun. So Lupercalia Festival is all about the sun being in between the twin peaks, right in between Capricorn and Aquarius, opposite Cancer and Leo, the sun and the moon's area. So this axis, Capricorn, Cancer, feminine, Saturn, opposite moon, is the axis of incarnation, of public versus private, of mother, father, home life, career, the grandmother and the mother. And this axis where we're going to have the full moon is about your identity. It's about your creative expression. It's about Leo finding his identity through expressing himself, and Aquarius bringing that expression above just thinking about your subjective personal expression, but bringing that expression out for the bigger good, for the humanity, for the group, having innovation. It's innovative. It's innovative rebellion. As this is Aquarius, it's you're above thinking about yourself, you're bringing it out to the group, but it's still very much about your identity through your expression. So very much at that time we've got little Cupids, Tammuz, Mercury, right in the home of Capricorn, the child of the Madonna, the new child being born from the Black Madonna. And then we have Mars conjunct Pluto, Venus still in Sagittarius on the 14th, Valentine's Day. The last day of the Lupercalia Festival, 16th, and then on the 17th, Venus joined Mars in Capricorn. And Saturn, you know, is all this time still at home, and the sun has just moved into Aquarius. So let's have a look at this. And then at that 17th, we had the moon on Aldebaran. So we'll just have a peek at a post, and then we're going to go and look at the chart. So Paris, Texas, this is the Eiffel Tower in Texas. Here we've got the new Elon Musk right at that X. And Texas looks like a heart. It looks like a heart. The European, the D'Artagnan route. And here we've got the Nineveh, but they only show 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 when there are 8. There are 8. So we've got this guy
in Texas,
who gives
Nineveh,
us the
Texas,
8,
passes through Nineveh,
passes
Missouri,
over 8 cities
Nineveh,
named
Indiana,
Nineveh.
where it has the highest magnitude at.
So he gives us those 8. And then we've got from the eclipse,
by this
40 days warning that Jonna gives takes us to the Pentecost, the 19th of April. So if we go to the 19th of April, so first of all, we go, so we've also got the lunar eclipse on the 25th, the lunar partial and then total on the 4th of the 8th, so that might not be the right time, but let's just see here. So then we're going to have Venus exalted. The eclipse is that merging of the moon and the sun next to the head of the snake. The north node and little Mercury will be retrogrades. He starts his retrogrades. So for the eclipse, the 25th, 23, 24, the 25th, he then starts his eclipse, his retrogrades, right over the V for victory. So that was the big thing where I live. I'll show you a picture when we go through the pictures. We had 2 fighter planes go over my region, 18 fighter planes in 2 Vs for victory, VV. So here's Mercury, he's going retrograde right over that V for victory. And he's going to be completely blinded by the sun on the 11th, but on the 8th, he's going to be in the middle, the sun opening. Right, so that new moon is going to be right on that V for victory with Mercury, the sun and the moon, birthing the child in victorious. This is the 12th house. This is, we were given the 3, 6, 9, but never the 12th. So we've got this absolute merging as we've got Venus. We've got Venus conjunct to, well, Neptune's going to be over here. Uranus and Jupiter are going to be conjunct for that day, and underneath the Aleph and the Tav. So we're going to have absolutely the Aleph and the Tav. That's exactly, that's why we've had Gabrielle, the name of the angel that was for the floods on the 13th of February last year in New Zealand, where my daughter and I and children, we should have been wiped out, but I was going around telling everybody, and we were saved. And the man who saved us, he was in shock, but he spoke about my mother. I have no idea how he knew about my mother, but I think the shock just led him to say things he might not, maybe shouldn't have said. And so there is your Aleph Tav. I mean, it is just so enormous. On that day, we've got Saturn and Mars conjunct. So Mars, the ruler of Aries, where Jupiter and Uranus are still in Aries. So this is the God Moses. This is I am the first and the last. He is owning this 12th house of being able to become spirit again, of, you know, that's why Amy Winehouse was so important, because she showed us that you can't get through. She died. She was the pulp, Virgo, the grape, the flesh, and then she couldn't get through. She died. She was thin. So there is a serious amount of cultish guru energy. That's what I meant in my last video. I can see through that. It's, you know, they're necessary paths. They're people who need your worship in some way, normally a lot of money attached. And until you let go of that, you know, this axis of Pisces and Virgo is codependency, self-sufficiency, illusion, believing, when this journey is totally about you just finding your animus, being aware of your shadows and not striving to be something extraordinary, but just accepting yourself and not trying to be something or to worry about other people. It's just about being happy about yourself and dealing with what you've got and staying grounded. So I'm going to show you what in this story of what is Nineveh in the Bible. Nineveh Bible is significant as the capital city of Assyria, a long-time opponent of Israel. Modern, so again, Israel is REV. There will be no need of the sun and the moon. The sun is exalted in Aries, the moon is exalted in Taurus. Mars rules Aries, Venus rules Taurus, and that's why this conjunction we have today, right now, that arrival of Venus and Mars kissing Pluto and entering into Capricorn, is so enormous. It's so enormous. This is really your ability to be alchemist. This is the stable. This is where I had that dream of myself holding those two snakes, and I gave one to my ex-partner, and that was when I knew that I had to, you know, before I lost my money, buy this house where I am, find my grounding. So yeah, that's what I wanted to show you in here. So Nineveh is, yeah, in modern Iraq is what Nineveh was located in, and is referenced in scripture as a place that repented of wrongdoing after receiving a warning from God, but was eventually destroyed. So that was Jonah the messenger who was sent. Nineveh is referenced in the Bible for the first time in Genesis as a city built by the Assyrian king Nimrod. It is most known, however, for its position in the book of Jonah, where it serves as the backdrop for the account of the prophet Jonah's quest to preach to the inhabitants of Nineveh and warn them of their coming catastrophe. In this article, we will cover the significance. So what I like about here he is coming to warn, here's Jonah. Here's Jonah. So yeah, Jonah the prophet sent by God to warn against the evil of the city of Nineveh. On the other hand, Jonah attempts to avoid God's order and is tossed overboard during a storm at sea. He is then devoured by a big fish and spends 3 days and nights in its stomach before being thrown back onto dry ground, to become grounded, to see through your illusions. So let's just go back to now and show you this little Mercury. So today we've got Mercury on that fishtail. He moves fast, little Mercury. And then 29th, so 25th for the full moon. So the full moon, Mercury, Sun and Saturn. Opposite the moon, Mars and Venus conjunct. And the moon in Leo. And then watch little Mercury. Mercury will arrive into Pisces on 3/7. That's the Vesica Pisces 7337. We've got the South Node in Virgo, the Betty Blue French film, La Marianne. Betty Blue film. So Charles 37.2. The Betty Blue, the Marianne, the Lady in Reds. We're talking to you about the Lady in Reds we had very important, this Lady in Red coming up as in the Matrix. So the Lady in Red, Venus, and then little Mercury and Neptune. So on that 3/7, that is the Vesica Pisces. Charles was 73. He's 75 now. Oh yeah, Neptune I wanted to find. Neptune. So there's Neptune. Mercury conjunct Neptune 7, 8, 9. So he's going to spend 3 days in the whale on his own, the little messenger. And we've got 3, so it's going to be 3/7, 3/8, and then 3/9, and then 3/10. Then we're going to have the moon. Then we're going to have the new moon. The new moon is just in Aquarius. It's just in Aquarius. So that is going to be the energy for the next month, but it's under the energy of Aquarius. And Saturn rules Aquarius. And for the full moon, we had Saturn, Mercury, and Sun conjunct. So everything is playing for us to be above, you know, the illusion and the drowning, and everything is playing for us. And this is such a powerful time. If you've played your cards right through this great X marks the cross to this final Aleph Tav, which is the heart of alchemy that we're living, we're doing fine. But this is very overwhelming for those, you know, just beginning on their journey. But everything is timing, and there's no right or wrong. We all have different moments in the journey. So now Mercury is moving on. He's still going to be up, not Pluto, Neptune. That's what I'm looking at, Neptune. So he's literally going to be passing those 3 nights and days in the whale, and he has to come as the messenger. And then let's go back to the 19th now. The 40 days after the eclipse, the 19th of May. So the 19th of May, we have Jupiter in Taurus, Venus in Taurus, Uranus still in Aries, and we have Mercury just on the eye of the whale. Right on the eye of the whale, Mars on the other, on that V for victory, Neptune, Saturn, still in Aquarius. So that is the date, and the moon. In Virgo, of course, for that 40 days afterwards. So we're going to have the moon in Virgo, the sun in Taurus. And the other date, the 13th, I wanted to show you, the moon was in Leo, as for the falling of Notre Dame. So the 13th of February, we had the, so no, when was the moon? Was it on the, oh, we had the moon and Jupiter conjunct on the 15th. I know, the moon is going to be in Leo for the full moon, and the moon was in Leo for the falling of Notre Dame. So the falling of Notre Dame, 2019, the 4th, the 10th, it was the 15th. It was the 15th of April, and we had Mars on Aldebaran, as for when the Queen died, as for the floods when I was in New Zealand. Mars, so he was completely here for Easter Day, a few days after. We had the Sun right in the V for victory. We had Uranus just entered the beginning of Aries, so that was such an important date, because now Uranus is in the middle, but he was in that I am, and what did he do? He burnt down the grace, the Notre Dame, to bring the new, which will be risen on the 8th of December, the day the Queen died, the Virgin Mary's birth. And we had Venus just in Aquarius, Mercury right at the beginning of Pisces, where Mercury is going to be, as I just showed you, for that drowning of Jonah in the whale. We had Saturn, so this was just before the great conjunction of 2020. So we had Jupiter, obviously, in Ophiuchus, the green giant, in the Scorpio, taking the fertility, bringing up that chai true energy, when Scorpio is meant to be the new solstice, the new head, well, the new east-west, because the true north, south is Aquarius when we get fully onto that fixed cross. So Jupiter on the knee of the hero, on this green gods for the falling of Notre Dame. And then Jupiter and Saturn met for the 12th of the 21st for the great conjunction in Capricorn. So that was very important. And then for the Easter day, the Sunday, 18, 19, 20, 21, so the sacrifice of Happy, my dog, Mars was right on Happy. And the Lupercalia festival is when they sacrifice a dog and an alpha male. And we had Venus 3 weeks later arrive here, and we had an alpha male who went, so it was in June when Venus was on Aldebaran. So again, it's that Mars and that Venus up. So for 21 Easter day, 21 Easter day, we had Sun conjunct Uranus in Aries, and Uranus right in Aries. So I have my Mars, I had this right on my Mars. My Mars was conjunct to Uranus and the Sun. So Mercury and Venus, Jupiter, Saturn, and the Moon was in Libra. The energy of rapture, the energy of repentance, the energy of, I've got so much open. I'm going to show you the videos of Uno. We're going to have a look. Nirvana, American Eclipse, cities. Yeah, the Revelation 21. So from 1, then I saw a new heaven and a new earth, for the first heaven and earth had passed away, and the sea was no more. I saw the holy city, the new Jerusalem, coming down. So all this verse, for me, it's very much from 2017, and he measured its wall to be 144 cubits. So the 144 to enter the Twin Peaks. That's where we've got all the planets right now. 2 ages side by side, ruled by Saturn. The Sun moves 72 degrees per age. That is the 144. We've got Pluto moving now through Capricorn. And we have got the Sun right in Aquarius for this full moon in Leo. The lion lies down with the lamb. So from 21, this is all, and we're coming up to 24, the Olympics. By its light, the nations will walk, and into it the kings of the earth will bring their glory. Its gates will never be shut at the end of the day, because there will be no night there. So that is the moon night. The Lord and the Lamb are its temple. That's the light. And there will be no night. So between, this is about your anima and your animus. I like these 12 stones. So I have just written this morning, and I'm going to read that before we go and look at Uno's videos. So this is what I write for the magazine. I have to write 400 words, so it kind of puts it into 400 words. The Sun is now in Aquarius. Saturn is also in Aquarius. Saturn rules Mother Earth, Capricorn, and Father Air Aquarius. All the inner planets sit in these twin peaks. Capricorn, government, authority, and Aquarius, free visionary thinking and innovative rebellion. For the full moon on the 25th, the moon will be opposite Aquarius in Leo. The moon rules Cancer, opposite Capricorn, and the Sun rules Leo, opposite Aquarius. Mars and Venus conjunct to Pluto in Capricorn, and Mercury conjunct to Saturn and Sun in Aquarius. This is all about your anima and animus, finding your inner lamb. BP is the 69. Merging your gold sun father and silver moon mother. Venus peace, Mars wars is the ultimate male-female balance to be found. Red pill, blue pill shift. It is the electromagnetic pulse of life. Venus, Mars, Pluto conjunct in Capricorn, the nanny goat, square to Uranus. So Capricorn is the devil. It is the fish goat, the nanny goat, this Dogon tribe. We've come to that. That's why I was talking in my last video about Rumpelstiltskin, about finding the name of the gnome. He is your Pascal, the god, the keeper of the four corners. Finding the four corners of your brain, your heart, and finding, is your head, is your heart heavier? Is your heart heavier than the feather? Finding that balance. It's the ultimate male-female balance to be found. Red pill, blue pill shift is the electromagnetic pulse of life. Venus, Mars, Pluto conjunct in Capricorn, the nanny goat, square to Uranus and Jupiter. In Aries, the ram, Sun, Mercury, Saturn in Aquarius. Opposite moon in Leo, the axis of as above, so below. The true new vertical dragon line is born in the year of the dragon. This is about being the keeper of your basic kundalini snake, from the coil to the vertical. And I posted a video of Robert Sver's the dragon, the occult order of the green dragon. I haven't actually watched it, but I know that it will be talking very much about being the owner of the keeper of this animus energy. Otherwise it's taken over. That's what Paris is. Paris is the heart of the sexual. It's renowned. You go to Paris for romanticism. It's just one big sexual energy harvesting. I live next to the Israel embassy. I lived at 32 Rue Jean Mermoz, J, Jupiter, Mercury, rulers of the mutable cross. When I had my awakening and I woke up, I sat up in bed and I went, we're all one, literally. I literally sat up in bed after another night of running nightlife in Paris. And I had this awakening. I was in the heart of the Golden Triangle. The Golden Triangle, where all this energy is harvested, where these nightclubs are, where all this sexual energy is taken. And if you don't own your energy, the opening of the Paris Olympics is alighting that steel, the looser fur, the iron hands. It's that energy of Mars, iron, copper, Venus has now been transmuted into the fiber networks which are under the sea. They're hidden under the sea. They know that the maritime law, the Pisces area's over, but they've got all the fiber links on the worldwide sea under the sea. So this is holding on to this abyss energy. So Venus, Mars, Pluto conjunct in Capricorn, the nanny goat, square to Uranus and Jupiter in Aries, the ram, Sun, Mercury, Saturn in Aquarius, opposite moon in Leo, the axis of as above, so below. The true new vertical dragon line is born. Revelation 21:24 is exactly where we are. 24, the nations will walk by its light and the kings of the earth will bring their splendor into it. So the kings of the earth are those of us where you have now that godly ability. We're coming back to the time when women could do pathogenesis. That's why the fertility is so important, where we had the gods, the people above those still ruled by the under the dome, the JFK. That's what we're going to be talking about in a minute. The importance. So there's a big connection to the shooting of JFK. That was the last solar eclipse. You'll see about that in that article. The Great American Eclipse. They have the JFK. I probably won't be able to find it now, but you have to click onto these different, and they open, but they do. So they give you all the connections. Sevens and sevens, seven murder official who won. You get it's Nashville. Okay, I don't want to get sidetracked. There is a great tension to our head at the moment. If you've got anything going on in Aries and Capricorn, you're going to feel this. Your head, I can feel it in my head. That's why I say to you, I need to pace myself all the time, because my work, I put so much into my readings, and just, you know, running my little life all on my own here. I've had all the works at the house beginning. It's another thing I'll talk to you about another time, but, you know, I'm getting closer to having a separate part, all my beautiful big bedrooms, 3 big bedrooms, a private studio. I'm nowhere near there yet, but I'm beginning to see that I can actually start to move forwards. And I will talk to you about that at some point, about what, you know, having this private area for people to come and stay here with me. And anyway, that's not for now. Let's just get this done. So government Capricorn, freedom Aquarius, wars Aries, and royalty Leo. This is like the drum roll before the coming eclipses that close. The great X marks the spot from 2017 to 2024. The great eclipse, 8th of April, will run through 8 towns from southwest to northeast America, called Nineveh as the capital city of Assyria, built by Nimrod. Jonah is sent to Assyria. So, you know, this is the birthing place of we have the vagina itself, which is in this gap. I showed you in the videos, that image last video of the vagina birth. Jonah is sent to Assyria to warn Nineveh of the coming catastrophe in 40 days. So that takes us to the 19th of May. The new moon, 10th of March, is in Aquarius. That means the revolutionary energy of Aquarius, being portrayed as Elon Musketeer, is in the limelight. The eclipses will be during this new moon cycle. The eclipses will be when the sun is in Pisces, but they will be under the Aquarius new beginnings energy. Mercury will be in Pisces. Mercury, the messenger, is in detriment, drowning and devoured by the whale. Just as Pinocchio, Jonah is tested. Mercury conjunct to Neptune for this new moon. Jonah attempts to avoid God's order and is tossed overboard during the storm at sea. He spends 3 days and nights in its stomach before being thrown back onto dry ground. Everything is about being grounded and speaking up against injustice now. Repentance is the theme. Aka, repaint your scene. Revelation, repentance, and rapture. So just images to remind you of this sun, moon. The terms anima and animus refer to the indwelling masculine and feminine energies that we all possess. Specifically, the anima is thought to be the feminine part of a man's soul, and the animus refers to the masculine part of a female soul. So anima, moon, Venus, feminine part of a man, and animus, sun, Mars, masculine part of a female soul. Both the anima and animus are ancient archetypes, or raw forms of energy that every being contains. So are you aware? Because this is that alchemical closure that we're living now. So it's always that 69, yin and yang. Mars and Venus conjunct Pluto right now. You can stop the video and see that. Let's just look at these charts a bit. So we've got first the full moon. There we have Saturn, Mercury and the Sun opposing the moon. We actually have Juno and Black Lilith right there. So a very powerful whore of Babylon. Very powerful. And we have the South Node in Virgo. So riding that beast, riding in with the 7 heads. That's 7. The last leg, that last corner. My village Lupiac, they burnt down the corner house, and at the same time they burnt down at Pierrefonds, where they filmed Merlin and Arthur. The stone is the medulla at the back of your brain. It is the Mary Magdalene. They burnt down at the same time Pierrefonds, northeast Paris to southwest where I live, Lupercalia. They burnt down that last 7, the 7 heads of the 7 points of your lymphatic system. You know, you able to renew. So look at this, we've got this very powerful semi-sextile working between the anima, the animus, the sun and the moon, and Mars and Venus, conjunct Pluto. Very amazing ability in the Twin Peaks to find your government and freedom, innovation. And we've got a square, a big square to Jupiter and Uranus in Aries. So a big square here, and also so Pluto making a square to Jupiter, and Mars and Venus making a square to Uranus. I mean, that is so enormous as everybody is moving forward. There are no retrograde planets, the power. So there's eclipses, we have Mercury retrograde, but we're still in the build up to that. And here are the North and the North Node and the South Node just waiting for the Sun and the Moon to join them here. So then we move to the new moon on the 10th. So the new moon on the 10th, there we have Sun and the Moon merged, and the drowning of Jonah. Mercury now in Pisces in detriment, devoured, you know, disillusionized, the devouring of Jonah in the whale, and 3 days of Mercury next to Neptune, as then the moon will move forward, and then we will have coming up for, so that's the 10th of March, the new moon is in Aquarius, that energy is in Aquarius, and Saturn is at home. So there's so much possibility. It's such an incredible time if you're not overpowered still by this lower, the sun and the moon. Yeah, in my blog, I put the images of Lars. I put the famous images of Lars. So there we've got the Rumpelstiltskin. That is in your brain. There is your little gnome. Can you get past him? So these images of Lars, this is the true closing. Saturn, the sun and the moon, the order of day and night and polarity, Mars and Venus and Saturn. And then Jupiter moves out and Mercury moves out, the true Maltese cross, the true closing, the Alpha and the Omega is when you have your Venus and your Mars. Hard work and gentle love, Venus easy work and hard love. Mars, we have the proper closing. So Aries and Taurus, Venus, and on the other side, Scorpio and Libra to rise the true phoenix. Scorpio rises again as the eagle to carry the snake of wisdom. And we have the true closing of Capricorn and Aquarius and the sun and the moon. But we have been given this fake Jupiter and Saturn. This is the fake order. Moon and Mercury, Jupiter and Mars. That's your Ukraine, yellow and blue. The Ukraine as the new head. The crane is the cran. And merging Libra and Virgo, which is rising La Marianne, and liberty, equality, fraternity, Lucifer, Venus as Lucifer. So Lars sent me an image of a new cigale. I've showed you many times so there's the umbrella. I just went and opened this image of Lars, so the sigil of Lucifer, which Lars sent me an image is being used right now. Is it LVMH, the sponsor of the Olympics? But this is really, that's why Jesus always has his fingers together. Saturn and Jupiter merged as the great conjunction. It's to find that midway ground between the true sigil when we come back to Saturn and the full expansion of the Jupiter Mercury JM, and then coming back, that sigil shows us the true closing of Aries and Taurus, Scorpio and Libra, the sun and the moon and Saturn, and this one that keeps us stuck with the sun and the moon, keeping us in this fake, there will be no need of the sun and the moon, still under the power of Jupiter. So the enemy of Israel, Nimrod, holding on, the time of the giants, Sagittarius and Europe, keeping the power here. So everything is about being able to find that proper merging. You can read that. So that was last time. You can get my newsletter. You just have to subscribe to it. Let's have a look at Uno's last two videos, the KC, the JFCK, Sunday, February the 11th. So we saw that was just before Mars entered Capricorn. February 11th at Cannes Chiefs victory. So Super Bowl, I'd never watched any of it. Oh look, LV 111 Super Bowl. Las Vegas. Yeah, so the Vegas nerve, Mercury. We've got the kiss under the umbrella. I just showed you the umbrella. I just just showed you the umbrella here. The importance, the opening and closing, Leonardo da Vinci. This is what we did with, and that's showing you the different angles of the Milky Way, this image of Lars. Just a reminder on my old blog that, as I would tell you, I can no longer get into the back office. I finished doing this blog in 2017, but these articles, Winter is Her, or Mary Magdalene, the Holy Virgin, Whore of Babylon, I think Winter is Her is the article that I do a lot about, that Stephen Paddock, Las Vegas 2017 shooting. This is all at the time that I then discovered lavettes and years of searching on my own and just finding the astrology and coming back to my astrology. So I think I was working out about the labyrinth here. And is it this article that I cover, the shooting? It's this article or the Mary Magdalene one. So look, this is talking about that great eclipse coming up. And now we're at the end of it. The orange, the solar, the Christianity. So this is what we've got now. The Virgo and Pisces. Virgo, Pisces, Jesus is not. Virgo, Pisces is the feminine axis. They've made Pisces, Jupiter into Jesus, Yahweh, this fake gods. So that was a very in-depth covering all the eclipse. I was sharing the videos of Lavette at this time. I just discovered. So you must go and see that, and they've just brought out that the world will be frozen from 2025, and I'll show you when I'll get to that. The video we did with Lars in 2020 about this winter is her. So it will be in Mary Magdalene and Stephen Paddock. The body snatchers, these people are connected. Black Lilith. That's the boot in Bordeaux. So there was one big bit I did all about. So Ham, Japheth, Ham and Shem, Israel. This is exactly, the Ham is the area of the city I showed you. Let's go back. I just show you here. We didn't get past the images here. They will show you. So the KFC, before KFC, after KFC. Mutable, fixed, Jupiter, the Paris Olympics, and there is that umbrella. It's just Mr. Tumnus. Dorian Gray, there's the last corner. He's showing you the last corner. You have been framed. It's your diaphragm, the jelly JFK, jellyfish keeping you under the dome of the jellyfish, the diaphragm. So I've done years and years of videos explaining this. Jodie Foster is all over the news in France. She speaks fluent French. She is the head sister. She is the head sister in this part of the, she is the image of that male and female merging, and just like Jane Fonda, who married Vadim, also speaks fluent French. The JFK keeping you in the jellyfish. JFK, Nimrod, Pan, Baghdad, Nineveh is at Baghdad. So I've covered, there's Iran, Syria, Saudi Arabia, the hearts. And there you have JM, Jupiter, Mercury, the corn, the foods, and the merging of Africa and Europe. Jonah's journey, 1 month to Nineveh. So from Israel, the spine, through the Las Vegas, the Mercury to get to. So we've got the merging of the four corners. There's the four corners. And, you know, this is the birth, was where the fallopian tubes got blocked with the Zeus. They block the tubes. I mean, we've had the whole journey. It's all just inside your, your body. It's all, and here's the kingdom. There will be no need of the sun and the moon. Baghdad Cafe, the blue and yellow again. And we've got the Austrian, the Autriche, the Austrian woman. There is your nut, the fertile crescent nut who holds the Milky Way. And Asira is right, and Nineveh. So this is all Islam. This is all lunar energy. And this merging now. Afro-America, that's why they, turned America. They knew America was the true merging of Capricorn and Aquarius, and they brought Africa to America. Okay. So, everything going on now, I was talking, this is from 2017. There is that, so Venus in Capricorn is very much this pentagram. Deadly Valentine. I didn't know then, and there it is. That's me talking about Stephen Paddock, and he fell from shot from the 32nd apartment just before that place of grace, before the 33rd. Yeah. So I was right on it all without completely coming back, and there you have holding the lamb on the Rumpelstiltskin. These are the Gascon. In those days I was trying to explain, there's the Zad, that all that happened, they then brought them up, and then they had the yellow coats. That was Notre Dame. Zad is just DNA, tribe of Dan, Dana, and there you have the Dogon tribe and the men. And there you have the same lizard that you see in Picnic at Hanging Rock. It is the lizard of fire. It's the Samalena. And there is Biarritz with the rock. And I was in the floods, the same thing. Lion's Rock with Mary on it. When I'm 64. So there is the shooting, Las Vegas shooting. And where I am now, the motorway, everything I've been telling you is on the motorway 64, which crosses from west to east across France. So the seventh seal. So you have to come and see these old articles. They go straight to this fertility, the lamb, Elon Musk. Let's go back to Uno's video. I didn't know anything about Taylor's turn down invitation, Kansas City coronation. So, Las Vegas, Celine Dion, Selene, Dionysus, the sun and the moon. February the 13th, we've got the lady in red and black. Giving the power to the Capricorn. So Charles and Camilla, CC. Red and black, Aquarius is red, black is Capricorn, and we've got the yellow of Sagittarius. So this is all the 13th and the 11th of February. Let's go back to now. So on the 11th, we still had Venus in Sagittarius, and Mars in Sagittarius, right under the Phoenix. That was so important. So this going on had to be so this starts on the 11th of February. The 11th of February, 211, and then we had 311. Well, no, that will come up. That's a, yeah, don't get confused, Vicky. Okay, so Mars and Venus was still in Sagittarius. So they're merging as I showed you. As I showed you. They've got to get Jupiter and Saturn to make their black and yellow, and the true black and yellow is Aries and Taurus, Mars and Venus. So it's also important, Mars and Venus, and they've currently got Jupiter in Aries. Aries is over here, and we've got Saturn in the true God home here. So they've got their merging their red and black and their yellow. Red and black and yellow had to be done before Mars and Venus entered Capricorn, whatever they're signing. So LVMH sponsor. So we've got the super ball. It's always the two shapes of the ball. I told you, the oval, egg, or the round. The measuring, the different measuring between tropical and sidereal. Showing you lots of 15. Prince Harry made his first public appearance since his father Cancer. So this is all to prepare Mars, the ruler of Aries, about to enter Capricorn on Thursday night. Pairing rugby. So rugby, the heart of rugby is where I live. So landing back in California following his 11,000 to the King on Wednesday. Showing us the big 13. LV3. So my name is Victoria LeBay Cotton. I noticed that my name was used as Victoria LeBay in a book recently. Somebody mentioned my name, but they called me Victoria LeBay, LV. KC, King Charles. So King Charles is what? He's Charles Rex, CR. This is the Cairo. The Cairo, the X, the Pisces, the sword in the stone. Okay, I don't think we need to see more. Okay, so then we've got this film 13. So everything is about rising, the 13th sign, the green gods of Fucius. And there is the Maltese cross. It's the Maltese cross. That's why I show you always. You know, this is, people are asking me, where is Lars? Lars has just given his all. You know, the problem is that people don't want to do the work. They don't want to see through. And Lars is taking time to recenter, and he'll be back. But his information, without you going and doing the work on your own, means nothing. Means nothing. And I think that Lars had burnout of just giving, and so much information without people working it out. Doesn't matter how many videos you watch and things you see, if you don't get these connections, his energy means nothing. So back to, where was I? We're at the video of Uno, right. So we've got the 33 here. I mean, honestly, 22, 44, Al Pacino, Al, head of the gangsters. So, you know, this is really rising that town again that was destroyed in Babylon. These are the gangsters coming back. I've always said it. You've got all the gurus and the gangsters, and so many people can't see through these gurus being brought to the light now. Okay, so the next video, this was on the 13th. So on the 13th, they rose up Notre Dame, reborn from his ashes. So this is the 13th. I showed you. We've got absolutely Lupercalia, the wolf, right here. Romulus and Remus. Mercury in Capricorn. Jupiter, both in cardinal signs. Jupiter in Aries. Notre Dame to Paris closed, yeah, for the 8th of December. So that is the National Virgin Mary's date. And then we've got all the gargoules, Champ de Mars. So is this trying to say that the next town of destruction is Paris? So Notre Dame is on the eye. It's on the eye. It's on the Ile de Louis. And that's where the eclipse, the heart of the eclipse is going to be. The eye of Louis, the sun gods. From the rosette with foliage patterns. So yeah, everything has been brought back. Can you imagine, for the resurrection of the phoenix? And there, X marks the spot. What's the point of praying to Notre Dame? This is a Canadian man, French Canadian, like Celine Dion in that film, The English Patient. They've got Montreal, where I live, we have Montreal de Gers. That is the red and white. Let me just one time. Just one more. So this is just all this passage of the gap we're in. This gap. Are you going to fall? You know, this is about dealing with this gap and meeting. So let's close that. Right. So yeah, this gap. This is the gap. This is the gap. This is the Milky Way gap. Bringing up this gods, this three between the three religions, socialist, communist, and fascist, and the creation of a new religion between Christianity, Islam, and Christianity, Judaism, and Islam. And I feel that this Orthodox Amish Ham, tribe of Ham, is coming in, Buckingham. Okay, so let's go through some posts from the 8th of February, from the last time that I was with you. So 8th of February, we had Venus, Mars very much, Mercury was just entering Capricorn. We just had before that the merging, the news of Charles, Mercury and Pluto conjunct. So what's that? The more casual, yeah, that was very interesting. That's very interesting. You read that. The more casual sex, the shorter you live. Sexual energy is life force energy, which means it gives you life. You came from an orgasm that propelled the masculine's energy into the feminine's creation center. Thus, you are simply an evolved sex cell of masculine and feminine energies. I'm going to let you read this. All these articles will be in my newsletter. So you want to subscribe to my newsletter because I'm going to be busy putting all that in to my next. So you should have had my subscribers. I have a code for you, which is just for those of you. I'll put it again in my new newsletter offer on my natal reading, and I've changed some prices on my site. You can go and have a look, but you know, keeping it so that the work keeps flowing in, because that's how I live and how I'm going to pay for all the works here. And I've now set up my French company, and so, you know, between PayPal and the company, there's just 2/3 of what I make left, so I need to be working very hard, which I think is fair. You know, I think that is all part of Saturn's role in the material realm, is just playing the game. Obviously, we see how the world could be without playing the game, but we have fallen into this realm, and we are in a type of school here. So read what I wrote. You can read that as well. Let's go. I just had a banana break. I'm putting wood on the fire break, and the dogs, the look they give me, they will get a walk before my reading at 5. So 216, 2016, 216, summer solstice is now officially on the wand of Orion. The Matador sits between Gemini, Mercury, Taurus, Venus, Toro, Torso, Prince Will.I.Am, Guillaume, born on summer solstice 216. 6 times 6 times 6, Taurus flesh. Uranus sits now between Aries, I am, Mars, and Taurus, I will, Venus. Uranus, so Taurus is I have, but I think that the will has been given to Taurus, and all those fixed signs have that I will energy in any case. And I think all the cardinal signs have that I am energy. Uranus enters Taurus opposite Scorpio for 7 years, the axis of exchange, what's mine, yours, between winter, summer hemisphere, the Giza Gap, Milky Way dragon. Taurus is possessions, money, food, power, BAAL, super BAAL of straw and a manger. Scorpio, Isis, is the life-death portal. She eliminates, turns water to ice frozen, or she is a constant well of wealth through regeneration, renewal of life force. Sexual transmutation is true power, not torso animal farm. We enter old macro had a farm, deep prostate, that's what I was talking about last time for the prostate gland. Prostate, farm, and the birth of the axis, Merlin, Arthur, Batman, Robin, of Fucius opposite Orion. That's why Will.I.Am came to where I live in 2016, right next door, because it's the new line. Why my dog Appy was killed 2019 6996. It's just 2019, same thing as 2016. Why book Abbey Pierre, written in 1924 by William J. Hudson, 2024 Paris, Narnia, Lamb, Olympics. So you should go get that book. I'm reading it. It's just incredible, reading about my village and everything I love about it and why I'm here, and just everything Harry says, that it's a total, there is no time here. It's just a world between worlds. Right, let's whiz through, because what was that? The new moon on the 9th of February in Capricorn stays square to Uranus, Pluto in Capricorn, Mercury in Capricorn. Mercury wasn't quite in yes it was, just still in Sagittarius. Okay, we don't need to look at that. Right, this is important. The 9th of February, Mars entered Capricorn. That was not correct. On the 9th of February this was a big day, but Mars was still in Sagittarius, conjunct to Pluto. It was coming up. We had Mars, Venus, Mercury, Moon. It was the new moon. That's what was so important about that date on the fishtail. So what do we have? What we have, without me reading all that, but this is important, I'm going to put it in my newsletter. So we had this woman, MM, Black Mad is on, Madonna, Mary Magdalene, Mad is on, Madison, Marsh, Mars, Mad is on, Mars. 22-year-old Madison Isabella Marsh is an American beauty pagan tight holder. So what am I putting here? Saturn, Aquarius, Putin, Saturn, Capricorn, Catherine, Motherland, Jupiter, Sagittarius, Elon, Musketeers, Taurus, Orion, Sagittarius, Ophiuchus, Chiron, Mercury, Gemini, American Pie. Okay, so I'm going off in one, but please read that. A lady in red or red lady is a type of female ghost similar to the white lady, but according to legend is more specifically attributed to a jilted lover killed in a fit of passion or woman of vanity. Such a figure is thereby seen as a victim of objectification. Again, Mars entered Capricorn, same story. Don't forget that Saturn is currently invisible. He's invisible until March. So this is giving power in all that, we should be rising into the home of Saturn, but the power is accentuated on Jupiter and Mars and Venus and Mercury in Capricorn. So Madison Marsh, all in red, and she's very blonde, she's very Russian, she's very the motherland, the lady in red, the Lucifer. And here we have, this is just the wavelengths, the red, blue, the two. Mary Magdalene is your shifts. So I've got them putting Mickey Mouse, Mile by Mile. These are just images that I found in Russian Vogue of, I wanted to find that energy of that Russian blonde, and I found exactly that. Red Lady Russia. So they show you that this Miss America, she's in her plane. So we had obviously Sagittarius, Gemini trying to take the air. They're not the air, the lady in red, they want her. So this is the icon, the Russian Madonna, the Madonna and her child. So on that day, 2/9, you had Pluto right in between, as I show here. Mars and Venus still in Sagittarius. First time a Ukrainian female pilot flew a fighter jet in Nevada. So Nevada is very like, my phone message for the solar energy. So Nevada, and then, now why did I go, today is 9/2, and on the 2/6, right, so I was working out, on the 2/6 we've got Sun and Venus conjunct on Aldebaran, we've got Uranus. I was looking at that, I was doing a mirror from 2/9 to, but we could play the same thing, but 6/2. 6/2 is Uranus is now in Taurus and Jupiter is in Taurus, and Sun and Venus, well, there's your lady in reds. There's your lady in reds. Right. See, it's impossible for me to remember everything. When I'm working, I get focused on my clients and I just can't remember everything. So Cannes, 18th of May, we have a Top Gun. So yeah, Top Gun, Maverick, TC, Top Gun. And this was also from a video of Uno. This guy is in some film and he's French. So look, there, and I just thought he looked, this guy reminded me of the guy. So you've got the Black Madonna, the Lady in Red, and Little Mercury being born in France, which is always the same. It's the same little Tammuz, the new Jesus, the new child. Right, so I'm just going to flick through pictures. The Woman in Red, so that I looked at when that film came out in 1984. That was the first thing I did, the first date I went on with my husband. I was just 16, and he took me to see The Lady in Red. It marked me. So LG, Liberty and Glory, and there was some LG, this plane. We've got Charles, and oh yes, Tom Cruise met William. So there they are together with Catherine, Tom Cruise and Catherine at Cannes last year. And then for this same day, it's William and the Lamb. Mary had it as Catherine with the Lamb. There is Amy Winehouse, who came back as Eliza Pilasky in 2019. Was it 2017? No, it was 2019. That famous story I tell you all the time with the bully, bullseye, the beetle, the revel there, William. So on February the 8th, William met Tom Cruise. I mean, give me a break. Right. Nan Carbon, the 666. The red and the white, and that X marks the spot with the Lady in Red. Moe's cow is the Star of David, and it's in the 13th town of Moscow. Earth, rising the Lady in Red, La Vache qui rit. And so if you read the words of the Lady in Red is dancing with me cheek to cheek. There's nobody, it's just you and me. It's where I want to be. The Lady in Red is cheek to cheek. I've never seen you looking so gorgeous as you did tonight. I've never seen you shine so bright. You were amazing. I've never seen so many people want to be there by your side. You know, this is all Dirty Diana. The Lady in Red. Ça va, Punky? Punky's making funny noises. The red, blue, Hawaii 5-0, the G and the T. A to M, I am, and NZ. AM, NZ, Dan, tribe of Dan, and I am. Red, there's Dirty Diana, there's Catherine, Lady in Reds. 99 red balloons, that's the 6996. Marianne Faithfull in Lucifer Rising, another big Parisian, lives in Paris, the connection. Moscow Road in London, and here is the Orthodox between the four corners that I think is what's coming in. All the places in London. Okay. So that was a post. So I'm going to put all these posts in my newsletter so we don't have to go. But this was 5 key moments. So yeah, then we had the big talk with Putin. 5 moments from Tucker Carlson's interview with Putin. Elon Musk is unstoppable. So that's Sagittarius, Jupiter. This is Capricorn. This is between Elon Musk, Sagittarius, everything that is just going on here. Let's come back to now. This is, I can't really make it. There's your Elon Musk, Musketeer, and Putin, the motherland. And that talk was, again, that was the 10th, was it? So on the 10th, we still had Mars and Venus in Elon Musk's home, and America and Russia. So read that. This was something I wrote. I put in my newsletter. The biggest fear the shadow forces face is the rise of the triple 1968-1986 generations. You read that. We're going to go through quickly now. Oh yeah, there was a baby decapitated during birth delivery, ruled a homicide. So in Georgia, in the throat, by Madeleine Howe Hertz. 8th of February, Black Madonna, baby birth decapitated. Fifth element is the head, your crane. Mercury conjunct Black Moon and Pluto in the gorge, valley of death between Sagittarius and Capricorn. As entering Saturn's home, Capricorn, Black Madonna. Georgia, gorge, throat. Taurus, will and Aries, head, I am. Uranus sits on Algol, Medusa. Gorgon's head, will, I am. 1441, all for one and one for all. So that was the 8th. Moon and Mercury conjunct. And see, they can see, that's the good thing with the Venus. They show you the visibility. Great, I haven't lost my place. So on the 8th, we had the Moon conjunct Pluto. And we had Mercury. Mercury had just entered Sagittarius, but it's the Moon conjunct Pluto right in this passage, this birthing passage. And they say that a doctor pulled off the head of a child, a black child. Capricorn is black. Sagittarius is yellow, Asia, and this is red, air. North America, or South America rather, sorry, South America, North America. So okay, right, Black Moon in the Black Madonna, Motherland, Capricorn, yesterday 9-2, Mars, Pluto conjunct in Capricorn and Mercury, the Dauphin in Capricorn. Venus, 5-pointed star still in Sagittarius, Elon Musk, bullseye, breast of Venus, Air and B, red, blue shift, green in between, positive, negative pulse, makes MM13BB, new R&B, dragon, Venus, Mars, red, blue. So it's your matrix, red, blue, the green in between the blue, red, that's the dragon. Torso field, and this guy, yeah, I didn't talk about it last time. So he dies on that date. So from the opening of Russell Brand in England, and then the war beginning in Israel, and now Robert Bad enter the immortal. So this guy was the guy who got rid of the death sentence. And there was an earthquake in Los Angeles, LA woman, the breast of Venus, Santa Barbara, Long Beach, in 7 places was. So this is Robert Garde des Sceaux monte à la tribune et prononce un discours historique enflammé de 2 heures pour demander à l'Assemblée nationale de voter l'abolition. So we have the abdominal of Kate. We have the abduction of the Danish queen, and now we have the abolition. It's Abba. Not Abba travelling, it's Appy, the bull god de la peine de mort en France. So he had this big speech for 2 hours. Look, we've got little Zeus in the middle here. This is Simone. She's the feminist in France. She brought up. So there you've just got the red, blue shift, the 2 directions of the how, wow, I, 5-0. So what was I just looking at? 50 years since. I just thought of something to tell you. So see, the north and the south is not vertical, it's horizontal. The vertical is the new west-east and the north-south. So Scorpio should take the top, Taurus should take the bottom. They're putting Taurus to the north, and the south to Oz, down under, new fertility in Scorpio. So there's your Hawaii 5-0, and the closing, you get the 1. And a Fatima. Okay, great. I'm not losing my place and having to go all the way back down. So then we came to Lupercalia. This 13th Feb, Mars enters Capricorn. I said in past post he'd enter. Yeah, so he entered for the 13th of February. Mars entered Capricorn. Deadly Valentine. That was the last year when I was in the flood. So you can read that. That explains it. And then I was talking about the moon sits on the tail of the whale of Jonah. So I was already picking up conjunct to Neptune. Api, Lupercalia. And I think then the magic of Pisces, have a look at that. So we've got, this is the 12th door, it's the closing. The pie, that's in French, pie is straw. Infinity, the 2 fish. The diamond is a girl's best friend. Shine on, you crazy diamond. So the closing, HH88. So if you shift that Leonardo da Vinci, it's actually the Pisces, the butterfly. Okay, so that was me saying this time last year, and this was the news. Let's keep that cut. So this is my daughter's home. Kids playing slow. Her husband, who had died just here, he hung himself on the 1st of the 10th, which was, you know, that's the 1-1. It was the day that Mars or Mercury were on Spica. Mercury had just gone retrograde in Virgo, but this was done 4 days. Residents plead for resources. So it was 4 days after when the flood happened. All this was underwater. So they show the town. Now PR was the name of the storm that we had this solstice. And Gabrielle was the name of this storm. So this is her town. There were mainly big landslides, but we were safe from that. We were the only house that was flooded from water from below upwards because the drains had been blocked. So the water had started to go down. So this guy, we've got JM, of course. So I was walking around saying to everybody that I knew. And, you know, I knew what was going on. I made so much noise because it was all I could do. You know, I was really, really worried that nobody was seeing the seriousness of what was about to happen. They go to my daughter's house, they focus this report. So there's Lion's Rock. Big focus on JM. And then you had the whole red and yellow stars, and then you come to Chloe's house, and boom. That's my van that was completely covered. I had this feeling from right the beginning I was there that I could get trapped in my van with water. So the water had gone right up to this top window. All that was underneath. There's my van. So, you know, my poor daughter lost all her life's artwork, photos. They never said one word. My daughter had 2 children, and I just finished buying for my grandchildren all their new computers, stuff for school. We'd just taken them back to their new school. He'd had his little suitcase already. He put his father's phone in his little suitcase. They had to have Chrome tablets, so they had, and we just had Christmas, so, you know, we got them new little surfing equipment and bikes and scooters and everything went. Luckily, Chloe got some insurance. She didn't get insurance. Her car was completely underwater. It wasn't insured for flooding, but I got insurance amazingly on my van, so I was pretty lucky. That was the people who came to save us. Their car ended up, but they were happy because they got a new car. So this road was unusable. You couldn't get down there. Show you that. Boom, boom. And we've got JC as well. So a really amazing community there. And I'm happy that Chloe still has all her best friends there, and she still takes the children to go there, and she loves here with all her heart. So do I. What an amazing place. Okay, so that was last year, 13th of Feb. No, we don't want to go here. That was last year. Then we had in France, this is very important, yellow Sagittarius, mutable fire, and black Capricorn, high cardinal is coming exactly as I said. LG, Liberty and Glory, Lot and Garonne. So the Lot and Garonne, you've got that song Deadly Valentine, Charlotte Gainsbourg. She's called Charlotte, and the Gare on. The Gare is the station, but it's also the Garçon or the Gas. Grace is over and the Gas is on. So Lot and Garonne is where they're saying that they had only 20 years ago 100 people, and now they've got thousands of people. This is all about the rural bringing up. So yeah, at 20 years there was only, they've now got 1,500 people for the Assemblée of Rouen, and we've got 4747. So that could be a play on, instead of 3773, 4747, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 11, 11, 1, 1, 1, 1. Okay, so that is more. Babies conceived on Valentine's Day are born at Halloween. Be conscious of what you conceive in your thoughts. Deadly Valentine, Mars, Venus, Pluto conjunct, everything you know. Liberty, Glory, Charlotte and Garonne, LG, G7. Yeah, LG is G7, double O. Are you ready for the riders? So this is from one of my books, Venus, Mars, Pluto. That was the energy of Venus, Mars, Pluto conjunct. Hot-blooded, primal nature, the potential for profound romantic and sexual healing, ongoing efforts to balance one's yin and yang energies, dynamic creative work, a tendency towards obsessive attractions, an overly brutal or domineering approach to sex and relationships. So this is all the energy of the real Lupercalia festival. Deliberately coarse manners, perinatal themes contaminating the sexual experience, power trips. So that is what children, you know, conceived at Valentine on this year. That is what is coming up. So on the plus side, emotional power and vitality, deep passionate romantic feelings, lusty sexual appetite, profound romantic and sexual healing, a love of intense music, primal and Dionysian art forms, dynamic, frenzied, creative work, an ongoing struggle to balance one's yin and yang energies, volcanic ecstasy, the primal earthquake of birth. So can you see we're birthing this new child? The planets are used for their energies to birth. So on the negative side, intense imbalances between one's yin and yang energies, an overly willful, domineering or brutal approach to sex and relationships. the potential to use charm or sex appeal to further one's ambitions, compulsive and inappropriate sexual feelings, attractions to romantic danger, involvement with willful lovers, sadomasochistic tendencies, confrontational identification with the femme or homme fatale archetypes, predatory sexuality. Bingo. How often are Venus, Mars and Pluto conjunct when Pluto's just entered Capricorn? So when Venus was still in Sagittarius and Mars was already in Capricorn. So that was the 13th of February, the charts. So again, we had a big square with these guys I've just read to Jupiter and Uranus in Aries, Mars exalted in Capricorn, ruler of Aries. And this birthing of this child. So these are, you know, the Hitler children in France, this service I've spoken to you about. Is it called the SMU? France children. It's these camps. Camps. I've done it in my videos. I've shown you, but it's this new camps children France SMU. I can't remember what it's called. I came across it's all in the newspapers at the moment. Camp. Yeah, I'm not going to get lost on that. We're nearly at 2 hours and I need to do many things. Okay, so there's Lupercalia. So you see Lupercalia, Venus, the 5-pointed star, that's my village. And we've got this all underneath the wolf. I've got it right underneath the wolf. Lupercalia. And the diving duck. Old Mother Hubbard. Babylonian tongue, the word for heart was BAAL, strongbow, BAALs, a symbol of Nimrod, the BAAL or Lord of Babylon. He was a mighty hunter, just as Cupid has a bow and arrow, and Valentine's was a common Roman name meaning mighty. Wollens in Latin, February the 14th was a day of unbridled sexual lust, indicated by the heart-shaped female posterior. The mother of a male child was purified 40 days after giving birth. So there's your 40 days again. So 40 days after January the 6th, birth of sun god was February the 15th, beginning the previous evening on the 14th. Learn not the way of the heathen. Yep, it's all below the belt. The founding of Rome, that is the same image that we see. That is the same image that I showed you. To show you below the belts. Jupiter. That's showing you below the belt, below the dome, the umbrella. Fertile crescent. Fertile crescent. So they had the flooding. The flooding for this year was they had it in Greece and in Saudi Arabia. They had the flooding right here for this year's flooding. In Arabia. That's where the flooding was. So her waters have been broken. Founding of Rome, the Louvre, female wolf, Romulus and Remus, fertility. So the entire earth is filled with religious ideas that originally started with the Babylonian leaders Nimrod, Tammuz, and Semiramis. So when the sun and the moon birth below the belt. So other names for Nimrod: Poseidon, Odin, Osiris, Tammuz, Moloch, Baal, Belus, Valentine, the Dagon. That's the Dagon I was talking about last time. It's exactly that. It's all there. So yeah, you know, it is very much Pan, Mercury and Capricorn. Old Mother Hubbard's holding the ball. BAAL and the Spectre, just like Gabrielle. Gabrielle is the new Prime Minister. These cardinal energies, the cardinal Capricorn, Aries. Baal, Ra, Yeshua, Jesus. You're not at the Christ has risen when you get to Aquarius. Otherwise you're in the illusion. Haven't seen through the illusions yet. They have Charlotte Gainsbourg and Lou Doyon, these two girls who, you know, seem quite boyish. Charlotte, Lot and Garon, CG, Lot and G, and Lou is the wolf. So they sing in France their mother's songs, Jane Birkin. So the two boys born from the wolf, she-wolf, Jane Birkin, and one of their daughters, Kate, the English girl, died, and there's just these two daughters left. Okay. So this came out, what will happen to the UK if the Gulf Stream collapses in 2025? So that was the old video that Lars and I did. I put it here, Mega Meter Crocodile Dundee D-Day. That video is a very good video that Lars and I did in 2021 or 2020. And it explains exactly what they've just brought out in The Guardian or whatever the news story that comes from. So this is about the menstrual cycle. And this is this girl, this is what I love, is that all this information now, people are just bringing it out. There's these incredible young women. So talking about the pathogenesis, that all men begin as women. So again, so this is 18 fighter planes flew very low for the 13th of February opening where I live. Waxing crescent moon. 13th February was on V for Victory Pisces, conjunct North Node and Chiron, where the total solar eclipse, April the 8th, will be. Hence the VV 18 planes as half 36, 180. The North-South Node move in 18 years. Spend 18 months in a sign and takes 18 years to do a cycle. 18 years to do a cycle. So excuse me, but I'm going to 18 and takes 18 years to do a cycle. Okay, so these pictures, there was the moon, that crescent, and right on the V, and this, look how low they're flying, right on top of the trees. And we had, of course, an incredible blue sky. I mean, incredible blue sky. So I'm just showing here the sun and the moon, the merging, the pillars. This is everything we're living now. Lupercalia, Baal worship, again, these same pictures that I showed before. Okay. I love how I don't have to go back down all the way. So there's Uno's video. That's what I wrote. LVVL, Las Vegas, vague, wave, ole, ola, ole, it's milk, oh milk, BAAL, oval or round. Vegas nerve, 13, 14, 15th Feb, Lupercalia, BAAL, sun worship, B13, M. Ofukio's Fertility Festival, Las Vegas shooting 2017 to now is the Great Eclipse. Opening and closure, that's the mouth of Amit, the Lacoste crocodile. That's why I've got the Lacoste Chateau next to Lupiac, D'Artagnan, where I live. So JFCK, Jane Fonda, Jodie Foster, Jellyfish Cut is the Orus Boreas Milky Way diaphragm cut, Snake Dragon Eclipse. It's the snake wrapped on the egg BAAL. So there's a name for that. There's the alchemical name of the egg in alchemy. What's it? The Optius. It's the most egg alchemy snake. Yeah, the Orphic egg. That's it. The Orphic egg. That's what I meant. Oh. So this is the, so when a mass shooting occurred when 64, so 46 chromosomes, 64-year-old Stephen Paddock opened fire on the crowd attending the Route 91 Harvest Musical Festival on the Las Vegas Strip in Nevada from his 32nd floor suites in the Mandalay Bay Hotel. He fired more than 1,000 rounds, killing 60 people and wounding as least as 413. 4 times 13. The vagus nerve is responsible for the regulation of internal organ functions such as digestion, heart rate, and respiratory rate, as well as vasomotor activity and certain reflex actions such as coughing, sneezing, swallowing, vomiting. So Uno had very good comments. People put lots of really good comments. You should go and read, because I've lost. I don't want to get too lost. We want to finish now. If you open that up and read the comments. So great, we're coming to the end. There's the capital, Ursh, where Charlie and Kate came to open the Lion's Gates. You've got the mountains behind. It was the other day. Venus just entered Capricorn. Okay, so I leave that there for you to read. There's a lot there. Revelation. So we had, that was the first quarter half moon in Taurus on the bullseye. Aldebaran Venus, rule of Taurus, just entered Capricorn today. Venus is conjunct. Okay, new heaven. That we don't need to look at. We've seen it. We've seen that. Fantastic. We're at the end. Fantastic. Fantastic. That we don't need to look at. Oh, how wonderful. We've already done that at the beginning. So let's just end by looking at right now. So that is pretty powerful. Venus, Mars, and Mercury still in Capricorn, and the Sun has now fully moved into Aquarius. Mercury is joining, so with the build up to this full moon, to the Sun and Mercury and Saturn all together opposite the moon, and Mars and Venus right conjunct in Capricorn and talking to Jupiter and Uranus. And then we've got little Mercury that will go and meet Neptune. So from the 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, that will be the new moon. So he's actually going to be from, it's going to be from a 3, 6 to a 3, 9. From the 3, 6 to the 3, 9, Mercury is right conjunct Pluto. Neptune, sorry, Neptune. And then on the 10th, we've got that new moon in Aquarius. And that will be making a nice semi-sextile. Let's go and have a look. That will be making a nice semi-sextile to Uranus. So that's the new moon. Here's Uranus. Yep, it's working in a lovely sextile, not semi-sextile, a sextile. So that really is a beautiful opportunity. And Mercury to Pluto. Mars to the south nodes. So there's always so much beauty and capacity to use all these energies in a pure way. Okay, my darlings, I thank you for sitting through these videos with me. I can't do videos every week. I've got too much work to do. So I do have to do 2 hours every 2 weeks. And do subscribe if you're not. And check it out, because if you didn't get the secret code for 20% off my natal readings, then you will need to get the new newsletter. And yeah, I'm loving having all these psychic readings and just doing more than just natal and Saturn. Using me fully is how I like to work, and I'm so grateful. Thank you, darlings, for the work coming in. All my love, I love you. Bye for now.